On this episode, I'm going to get a little personal, tell a little personal story, but it's super important that you guys know that the choices that you make today will absolutely have a dramatic impact on your quality of life later on. And I'll explain exactly what that means right now. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 209 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I am your host, Dustin Brohm. I'm an agent in Salt Lake City, Utah. And today I'm going to tell you a little personal story about what's been going on in my life the last couple weeks and then explain how it's relevant to you, because I have some new perspective that I've gained that a lot of you guys don't have yet, or you're dismissing. I think a lot of you have maybe considered what I'm going to talk about today, but you just dismissed it because you're like, oh, it's not affecting me today, so I'll just kick the can down the road. Now, look, that's how I've operated in my life for the majority of my life. And I still do procrastinate certain things, like recording this episode, to be totally honest. I procrastinated because I didn't quite know how I would talk about this today, but I get it. If you guys procrastinate because it's not affecting you today, or, oh, I'll get it, I'll do it tomorrow, I understand. But what we're going to talk about, this is something that you can no longer ignore. You just can't ignore it, okay? And most of you guys who do ignore it, you do so because you're not in you don't have a current pain point, because you're okay. You're doing well. Things are good, right? But you don't realize how one day they may not be, and you're also not realizing things could be great. Things could be fucking amazing, but you're choosing good over great. And so I'll explain what that means here in just a sec. I do want to give a shout out to you guys who signed up for and registered for our very first live event, the Massive Agent Society Live in Salt Lake, in early February. It's completely sold out. I didn't even get a chance to run any freaking Facebook ads for it, which is kind of awesome, but I was excited to do that. But you guys bought the 20 tickets, so it's full. If you guys were planning on doing that, I apologize. When I say there's 20 spots, there's 20 spots. So, I'm sorry, but I'm not. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for you guys. It's going to be a very fun event here in a couple months, and stay tuned for more on that. Anyways, all right. So a couple weeks ago, let's see, you'll be hearing this this is coming out on the 23rd. So 2 days before Christmas is when this episode comes out. Just over a week and a half ago, my dad passed away. My dad was 74 years old, and he's had some health issues for at least the last year or so. Some health issues that we didn't quite understand the severity of until this last week. And he passed away Tuesday evening, Tuesday the 14th, and my brother and I were there, and we got to say some last words to him. I'm going to try to make it through this as best I can. But during that time, it was quite unexpected. The timing of it was quite unexpected, but something that I've been thinking about ever since is pure gratitude. It's a hard time. We're dealing with planning a funeral and taking care of all of his affairs, and the probate process and all this horse shit that if you've ever lost a parent, is extremely trying and extremely time consuming, and quite frankly, it's just a clusterfuck. It's not enjoyable, and that's on top of losing the loved one, which is awful to begin with. So, even with all of that, I'm still extremely grateful, because I've been working very little, the last week and a half. Been spending a lot more time with my family. Some of that's because of Christmas, and I would have been doing that anyways. Just doing some fun family Christmas stuff, like a little staycation downtown in Salt Lake and some other stuff that we've done. But I've been working a lot less, and I noticed the other day, and the other day I knew that I wanted to do this episode the way that I'm going to do it. I realized, like, holy shit, like this whole time, I haven't once worried about money. I haven't once worried about where the money's going to come from. I haven't once worried about, oh my God, I just have to get to the office. I just have to do this because if I don't do this, then there'll be no money. Um, I I'm very grateful that some of the choices that I have made in the past, some of the decisions that I have made years ago, are now very apparent that they were the right choices because I set myself up to have income that wasn't directly tied to and solely dependent on me closing transactions. And I just want to say this. If you are there, and the vast majority of you guys, your only income comes from commission. I get it. I was there for the vast majority of my career. There's nothing wrong with that. There is something wrong with burying your head in the sand about the potential pitfalls of running a business model that way. And let's be honest, that's not really a business. If your income is 100% dependent on you showing homes, you driving through traffic in the afternoon to open doors and write offers and do listing presentations and go to inspections, handle, after appraisal negotiations and all that shit. If you personally have to do all of that, you don't have a business. Now you're self-employed, but you're running your own job. And that's much better, in my opinion, for most of you than if you were working for some other company. Like if you're working for Walgreens or Amazon or Procter and Gamble or whatever the hell, insert company here. Calling your own shots is awesome. You can set your own schedule. But if you can't take a week off because you don't know, like your business would stop, you wouldn't have it. Offers need to be written. And if you have to do that, if you have to show the homes, if you have to attend, if you have to do open houses and all that, what if you can't do it for a week? What if you don't want to? What if it's a month? What if you have a family member who gets sick? What if you're sick? Have you thought about this shit before? I bet you have, but you probably dismiss it. And I dismissed it for a while because I'm like, oh, some work is required to make certain decisions and pivot a little bit and change my business model so that I can have others out there showing homes, have others writing offers so that I personally don't have to do all of it. Okay, this is what big teams do. You have a team leader. Some of them are still in production, but the big ones, the really successful ones that have a great lifestyle, a great quality of life, they're no longer personally selling homes. They're running the team and helping others to sell a bunch of homes. Okay, so if those people, if they have to step out for a couple weeks because of a death in the family, or maybe just want to go to Europe for 3 weeks on vacation, the business continues to operate because it's not dependent on you. All right, this is not... I'm not trying to convince you to do any one thing here, except for to open your mind to see better business models that, depending on what you want and what you really enjoy and what's important to you, I want you to be able to see these as possible for yourself and start moving in the direction to make them happen. Maybe you don't want to be running a giant team, but what if right now you're solo? And if you could have 3 or 4 other agents working for you, that would allow you to step back a little bit and, take your kids on a vacation for a week or spend time with a sick family member. But right now you can't, because if you're not writing offers, you're not closing deals. I know that I'm speaking to the vast majority of you because that's the majority of this business. And that's okay. And I want you to know that I'm genuine when I say it's okay if you love writing offers and if you love showing homes and meeting with buyers and driving them around town, seeing homes and everything. If that is what you love about this industry, awesome. That's cool. But what's your backup plan? What is your backup plan? I want you to ask yourself that. What the hell is your backup plan? Most agents don't have one. They're just going to keep going and going and going until they can't. And if we're being honest, and if you're being honest with yourself, unless you're one of those few people that really, truly loves the day-to-day of being an agent, most agents I talk to don't. They tolerate it or they enjoy it a little bit, but it's not what they want to do forever. It's a means to an end. It's something that they can do now, but they're trying to build something bigger. The majority of agents that come work with us in our team, they're wanting the blueprint to build something that's a business and not just running your own job. Most agents I talk to don't want to own their own job forever. They want leverage. They want flexibility. You want the ability to not work maybe ever. Maybe if you don't want to service clients anymore, who says you have to? Who the hell says you have to? Now, maybe today you can't just say, all right, I'm not servicing clients anymore. I'm just going to refer them all out. Maybe you can make that choice today, but maybe it's going to take working towards, and that's totally fine. But it all starts with a choice. It all starts with making a decision of what you want your career to look like and how you want it structured. And do you want a safety net? Do you want a backup plan? Do you want the ability to step back and not have, you want something to where work can get done even if you're not personally doing it. You want growth to happen, revenue to be produced, closings to happen, homes to be sold, even if you personally are not doing it. And I think I'm speaking to the majority of you now who want that, but maybe you don't see how. Now, there's a few options. Most of you guys can do that right now where you're at. Okay, you're probably with a brokerage that supports teams, and you just have to start building towards a team structure. And it's not rocket science because plenty of other people have done it. You can just do exactly what they did and ask them questions. Okay, some brokerages support it, some don't. Some are better than others. It certainly matters if you're going to build a team. If you want it to be as lucrative as possible, that matters. The brokerage you choose. Some brokerages have other income opportunities. I'm not only talking about mine. I'm very happy with my choices, with the brokerage I chose and the different revenue streams we have. But we're not the only ones. There's other brokerages that have similar revenue structures, profit sharing, revenue sharing, bonuses for recruiting other agents whenever they close deals, stuff like that. They're out there. Your brokerage may have something like that, but maybe you just haven't taken advantage because you're like, oh, I'm too busy selling homes. Okay, I get it. Well, it's about time. And hopefully this is your call to action or even your permission slip if you need it. It's not like you need it. You don't need it. But let's say you've been telling yourself you need a permission slip. Well, here you go. This is it. I, Dustin Brohm, am giving you your permission slip to create the life that you want, to create the career that you want. And if you don't want to be selling homes anymore personally, but you want a bunch of homes to get sold, then you can start working towards that if you choose to. I can help you. Our team can help you. Your current brokerage hopefully can help you. Your current team or broker, whoever you're currently surrounded with, hopefully they can help you. I know that if you're on a team, a lot of them aren't set up in a way that wants their agents to be built up, because then you leave the team and go start your own and then they can't profit from you anymore. That's shitty. And I know most teams are like that. Mine's not like that. I know a lot of other teams that aren't like that, where if we have an agent who gets so good that they're like, hey, we're ready to go out on our own now, we encourage it. Like, that's actually better for me. That's better for us if we help you build your own team so that you could create leverage. That's great for me. That's great for us. And there's other situations out there that are similar. So explore it. That's all I'm saying to you and asking you to do is decide that you can do that and then start exploring how to make it happen. If you can do it where you're currently at and all the numbers look good and you're satisfied with all that, awesome. Cool. If not, then you need to look elsewhere and you need to do your research and you need to look at more than one place and you need to bring your guard down and really take a look at, why are these teams over here doing it this way? Why are these ones that have apparently what I want, why are they doing it there? How are they structuring things? How are they compensating their agents? All of that. Okay. The proof is out there. You just have to follow it. But it starts with that decision, guys. And it's been really amazing how I just haven't worried about where the money's coming from. I haven't worried about, oh my God, um, I I was supposed to go show homes to the Joneses, but now I haven't been able to, and now they're pissed off at me, and I haven't worried about any of that stuff. I haven't worried about appraisals or inspections or closing deadlines or lenders fucking the whole thing up. Haven't worried about any of it because I have a team of agents that does that. Now, I work my ass off to support them and help them and build them up, but I've just stepped into a different role by choice. And I didn't start this role on day one. I started by putting my ass in the right seat. I started by leaving a brokerage that I was happy with because things were good and it was only $500 per transaction. But that was it. I was like, why would I go somewhere else? Once I really grasped the concept of leverage and partnering up with other people that were doing very big things that would literally hold me by the hand and help me build that too, that's when I thought, okay, now I understand. And when I made that choice, it was a little nerve wracking and it was a lot of change and kind of a pain in the ass. Whenever you switch brokerages or leave a team and go solo or change your business models or change even your marketing strategy, it's a pain in the ass because you have to do new things and you have to shut down old ones and you have to change, your profiles and get new signs and logos and all the shit, right? Okay, but it's also not that bad. And it's amazing how many people, possibly you, have let the minor, temporary, short-term inconvenience stop you from permanent, long-term wealth creation and financial freedom. I don't really know what to say. We want to avoid this short-term pain in the ass, and we're killing our long-term finances and our peace of mind. And when I say financial security, I don't just mean you're making so much damn money you don't have to worry about budgeting. That is a bonus, and that is possible. But I mean, can you take 2 months off, and does the money just keep coming in, and does it increase? That's because there are people out there, myself included. I'm one of these people that's how it's working because of choices I made 3.5 years ago and have continued to make since. And you guys that have been listening to this show for a while, you know that you know this to be as true as the sun rising in the east. If I can frickin' do it, you can too. You just have to be bold enough to do it and decide I'm going to start doing something different so that I can get my freedom back. Because I'm tired of working my own job. And my God, how many agents go on vacation and then never actually enjoy the vacation because you're on your frickin' laptop the whole time? You're on your phone the whole time trying to keep a deal together and arrange showings with whoever you're having do your showings while you're out of town and offers and dealing with clients and all this shit. You're not really on vacation. You're just working from a different location. That's what realtor vacations are. You're just working from a different location. Now, that's cool if it's snowy in 20 degrees in Salt Lake, sitting on the beach in Florida or sitting, at a resort in Scottsdale where it's 70 degrees in the middle of winter. That's a better location. If I'm going to work, that would be nice. And that's how we justify it. But what if you could actually do both and go on vacation and actually enjoy it and not be working all the damn time? Well, you can. That's possible if you make different choices. The choices you make today will make a major impact on your life later on, and hopefully for the better. Hopefully for the better. And it's taken losing my father and then all the bullshit that's come after, all the distractions, the time that I've needed to take off personally to spend with my family and take care of his affairs, which we barely scratched the surface on. It feels like there's just so much to it. But not having this worry like, oh my God, like I can't do any of that because I've got to go drive these clients across town. I know that I've had some other people say, well, you're lucky you can do that. there's not a single part about this that's luck. I made a bold decision that at the time felt uncomfortable, but as I go on, I'm shown more and more, and it's proven to me that I made the right decision. And I continue to make little pivots and adjustments and enhancements of the business model that I'm working on. And so I'm working hard. I'm just doing the right things. Okay? If you are working your ass off, but you're not doing something that's going to get you where you want to go, you're not in the right vehicle, then get in a different vehicle. Get in a different seat for the love of God. It's your life, it's your career, it's your peace of mind, it's your happiness, it's your family. And there's so much abundance out there, especially in this industry. There's no reason that you shouldn't be participating in that and have it increase dramatically every freaking year. There's no reason. And if that's not happening to you, and if increase is selling 10 homes and then selling 16, and then the next year selling 24, and then selling 29, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going from 10 to 50 to 150 to no longer selling anything yourself, and 200 homes got sold. There are countless agents and teams out there in our industry right now, in your market even, who are doing that today. And you're choosing not to because you're comfortable. And because you're thinking, well, I don't have those needs right now to take a month off. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm making money today. Cool. Well, when the music stops, I hope that you are happy. I truly do. I know that sounded pretty smart-ass, and it kind of was. I'll be honest. That's how I meant it, smart-ass. If you are happy doing what you're doing, then you don't need to listen to any of this. You don't need to change a damn thing. But if you're not happy and you want something a little bit different, you want more, then I know that I'm speaking to you, and you're in the right place to be hearing this message today. It's not a coincidence. You know, there's this quote out there that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. It's so true. Like, as soon as you're ready for a certain message, it shows up. And hopefully this podcast today is that message for you. Hopefully you are the student who needed this message today. If so, I beg you, here 2 days before Christmas 2021 and right before the end of the year, make a decision to have a better life starting now. If you need help to do that, great. I'm here to help. My partners are here to help. The mentors that I have that are above me that I'm working towards, they're here to help. But you have to ask for help. Okay? And if you don't need my help, awesome. Get it from whoever you're currently working with, and hopefully you're in the right vehicle in the situation where you can do what we're talking about. Because it's just the more time I spend with people who are really winning in a massive way, you know, people that are making $500,000 a month plus, and I realize there's so many of these people. There are so many of them, and they're no different from me, other than the choices they made a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. That's it. So they're not superhumans. If you're looking at people in your market, they're like, how are they selling 600 homes a year? Well, they're not superheroes. They just made different decisions than you a while back, and you're now seeing the fruits of those of that labor. You're now seeing what happens when you make a certain decision and start moving in the right direction. Now, everything you're getting in your life are the results of decisions you've made in the past too. So congratulations, and I'm sorry. You know, there's a lot of things in my life that I'm not too stoked about, or that I'm like, man, I thought I'd be a lot further ahead. But it's because of my actions or lack of action in the past. So everything going on in your life right now has been manifested from decisions you've made in the past. So decisions you make today will determine what your life looks like next year, a year, 2 years from now, and so on. I hope to God that you look back at this episode right here, this moment where you made a decision, and see it as your pivot point, your jumping off point, your your point of explosion, if you will, into creating a life that you're excited about and growth that just gets you out of bed in the morning. Because, man, this shit should be fun. Life is fun. Business is fun. You just have to make different decisions. So I appreciate you guys very much. Appreciate you listening. Thank you for sitting through my my personal story today, but I just felt prompted to say this and to say it the way that I did, and hopefully hopefully it was meant for you. Hopefully it was meant for you. And just know you're not alone. If you have no idea how to build what you want to build, let's talk. If you have no idea where to start by asking for help. It's that simple. It's just that simple. So there we go. I'll end by saying this. So, and a slight change of topics. I was sitting in on a listing training today that, speaking of being surrounded by amazing people that are just willing to help, I was sitting in this listing training today that one of my mentors set up with DLP Realty, one of the number one listing teams in the entire country. They only have 24 agents, but they sell, what they do, like 300 or 400 listings last year or this year, something like that. Like, it's insane. They list more homes than almost anybody. And they were doing a training on how they do listings, how they talk to the clients, how they do the listing presentation, all this stuff. And they're giving all of it away. Like, it should have been a $10,000 or $15,000 course or class, but they were just giving it out. And something jumped out at me too. Like, they are just doing slightly different things than the rest of us. They're doing things in a slightly different way. They have confidence that they build in themselves so that they can confidently say things in certain ways and do things in certain ways that it helps to persuade the clients to sign with them. That was something that I noticed for sure. But I also noticed one of the tools they use is Follow Up Boss. And, if you've been listening to the show for a minute, you've heard me talk about Follow Up Boss. They're a partner of our podcast, and, a great partner for agents within this industry. And they were saying Follow Up Boss is a tool that they've used for years. They think you're crazy if you use anything else. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, here we go. Here's yet another one of the top teams out there using Follow Up Boss and swearing by it as an integral part of their listing process in many ways. So that was pretty interesting to me. So I wanted to remind you guys today, being that it is 2 days from Christmas, right? 2 days from Christmas, a little Christmas gift from Follow Up Boss to Massive Agent listeners. You guys can try it out and see why all these giant teams, those that are the highest producers in the industry, why they all swear by Follow Up Boss and would never use anything else. Why the hell aren't you using it? See, this is one of those decisions you can make today to upgrade the systems and processes you have, upgrade the tools that you're using that could make a dramatic difference in your business. And they're going to let you try it for 30 days for free, and you don't even have to put in a credit card. All you have to do is use the link, massiveagentpodcast.com/followupboss, massiveagentpodcast.com/followupboss, and you get a 30-day free trial. You can't get a 30-day free trial elsewhere. If you go to their website, it's a 14-day trial, and you don't even have to put in your card. So try them out and see why the number one listing team in the country swears by Follow Up Boss. They will not disappoint. Guys, thank you so much for listening today. And let me know, make sure you're following me on Instagram at Massive Agent. And I'm putting out a bunch of reels and content every single day that I think is a lot more helpful. I've really leveled up my content game over the last month. And so if you haven't seen it, please do. But send me a message and let me know about the decisions you're making. Let me know what this episode has inspired you to do by telling somebody who's going to be supportive of those goals and dreams. That's going to help you hold yourself accountable, knowing that you've told somebody else and it's not just sitting in your head. And then also write it down. Write that shit down in a place you can look at it morning and night, every damn day. Look at it, write it down so you can start working towards those goals. And look, there's not just one person out there doing it. There's dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands, doing what you aspire to do. You just have to do what they did. And sometimes you have to move into a different spot, put your butt in a different seat, get into a different vehicle, work with different people, follow a different system, maybe all of the above. I don't know. But it starts today. Thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas. I will see you next week for the last episode of 2022. Wow, I'm getting ahead of myself. For the last episode of 2021. And I'm going to be talking to you about what you need to know going into 2022 to have a killer freaking year. It's going to be a good one. So thank you guys so much. Talk to you next week.